Alright, so today we're working on a metal table. I'm going to make a diamond plate tabletop the guy wanted. And the whole entire table is made out of used steel, some 2-inch square tubing that he had. Kind of had a table already built, but I cut it all down into pieces. And I'm getting ready to kind of weld it all back together. I still have some cutting to do. Had to make a little fixture over here to hold two pieces together to be able to do a nice square weld back to it. So I got that. I'll show you guys that in a little bit. And then I'm going to start welding and grinding and putting it together. So follow me along. All right, so on his old table, this was too short, this piece right here. So we have to add another piece on that we cut off the legs because he wanted the whole tabletop a little bit lower. And we're putting on giant casters. We got these big giant casters that we're going to be putting on there. So I had to allow for that on the leg. So what we have is these pieces that are cut off. I cut this with my bandsaw. And then this is going to be a 45. So I have a piece in here all locked in. So now this is ready for a weld. I'm going to plug in my welder. And I got a new torch for it. I think it's from Yes Welder. Yeah, part number's YW, so that's probably Yes Welder. And it plugged directly into the Vulcan, which is really nice. And it upgrades it to a 150 amp weld setup. Alright, feels good. Now we'll weld that up. And clamp, move that down. There. I want the fixture as tight as possible because I want it as square as possible. Feeling pretty good. Alright. Switch from safety glasses to cheater glasses. Grinding, rinse and repeat, right? See, it's remaining pretty square, which is great. Yep, so tight I can barely see it. I like using a hard disc on this to get it flat, because a flap disc will kind of follow it a little bit. You'll always end up seeing it. I don't think this is that crucial, but I don't want to take a chance. Okay, now these two get 45s. All right, so the overall length of this table, or width of this table, is 42. 42. Now what I'm going to do to make sure both cuts are exactly the same, I'm going to cut them both at the same time. Put these two together. Make sure that we're golden. All right, that's set up. Now we can get our length in here. All right, so we just got these cut up. Now we need to bevel the edges and clean them up. Kind of dangerous doing that. That's nice and square. That's square. So I do it again. Okay. I'll use Matt's favorite hammer. Okay, that's square. Let's build the other corner. Okay. Alright, I'm going to try something stupid. So what I did is I welded a S-hook on the metal. I got to get the metal up on top of that. So what I'm going to do is bring the metal here, lay it down. I got a hoist overhead I'm going to hook up, and we'll see if I can lift it up. If not, I don't know. I was waiting for the neighbor to come home, but they're not home yet. So. I don't know how much this weighs, but what did I want to lift? That's done. Now I need that part. And we'll see how strong my little half-inch welds are. Okay, not something I want to go underneath, but it's working. Alright, so my idea was to get the tabletop up here and use this as my square. Definitely can't be my flat table, but so now let's get the other one. We'll let that cool in place. Okay, so let's set this for 1 inch. All right, so that's my 1 inch mark. All right, so now I just gotta run down this. Okay, now I want to measure from there to there, measure there, and make sure that's good. Then I should check square. 3 3/4. $64. So a 1/4 inch off. But I think this will be strong enough. Which I know it will be. Should I do the leg on the corner? Should I do the leg on the inside? I like the idea of the leg on the inside because it's strong, but it also makes it to where if you had something on the edge and you wanted to clamp to it, you could. What do you guys think? What do you guys think? These, once this goes in, then there's going to be another shelf. You got to weld on it. So I got probably a full day tomorrow of work. Yeah, awesome. All right, so next up would actually be welding the legs on. I do have to take care of my wife. She's in bed with a broken. Be good to go on that. Probably never slide your hand on a piece of metal, you never know. But I do it all the time. Have you seen before? Alright, that gets the legs done. Alright, so I went ahead and rasped out the corners. Now I got the legs set up. We do have to make sure that they're all facing this direction, so that way they're correct for the width times length that we wanted. So, all right, I'm going to go ahead and tack this on. Try to shut my helmet. Sure that's straight. Sure that's straight. All right, that should be done. One leg welded in. All right, that leg's welded in. I should check the measurement. Sure we're close. 44. 43 and 15/16. Close enough. I'll be able to move that over. Maybe. Okay. All right, let's do one more. All right, so we're on the last leg now, so I just have to finish welding this up, and then we're going to build a structure that goes underneath here to hold another piece of diamond plate. I think you want a diamond plate on that. So the one thing it will do is stiffen up the legs and not have to worry about bending the legs. So I'm going to finish welding this up, and then we'll go on to that. That leg's in there. All right, so next up is cutting pieces that fit in here. So I'm hoping they're all about the same, but it's handmade, so they're probably off a little bit. They're made by me, so it's probably off a lot. Oh. All right, so I'm gonna take some measurements, get the bandsaw out, and start cutting some pieces. I'll get back to you after we get these all cut out. All right, we got this all cut out, laid in here. I plasma cut it. I do it off camera. Now I got these bars cut. We're gonna weld those in, and then we got to cut the bars for the other side. A little bit more. I'm going to measure it and get it all at the right height. All right, I'm going to weld that in. All right. So I just got to move the clamps around and do some more tacks. All right, this is when we do stupid stuff. I have a hoist here to lift up the table, some ratchet straps. My buddy came up with an idea of wrapping it around and making a hook for it. And so far it's worked twice off camera. Now I'm going to do it on camera, so hopefully it goes good. Usually it should because it's on camera. If we did it off camera, that's usually when stuff have problems. All right, I'm going to move my torch cable just in case it does fall. I don't ruin my welder. All right, going up. It worked again. All right. All right, now we pull this off. Actually, I can leave this on. I'm just going to weld up. Well, maybe it'd be good to paint it up here too. Because I got to paint the underneath of it first and then flip it over, then paint the top side. So, okay. So right now what we're doing is we're cutting this big thick piece of metal here. We're gonna weld, that was loud. And we're gonna weld this in. Cut it to the right side. It's a little bit off. A little grinder will work. We're gonna weld that in to stop this from oil canning. Because it's kind of, after you weld it all the way around, it stretches the metal a little bit and you get too much metal and you get oil canning. So I'm going to lightly grind this to get this to fit. Center of 48 is about 24. Even I knew that one. That was an easy one. I used to have a tape measure that had centers. It was really cool. There's a tape measure that as it counted up, it also counted down. So you had, certain numbers had exactly where center was. The other thing that people do is they'll take 4 feet, they'll take the tape measure, fold it in half, and then that gives you 24. So, and then I always do one side and then I back measure the other way to make sure I'm centered. Of course, on 4 feet, that kind of, hey, it can get technical, I don't know. All right, so there's center. So now I'm gonna, no, not a wide fan pattern, just a fancy looking tip. All right, doesn't need a lot for this. We're not building up for protection, we're just building up some flash rust and other type of rust. Okay, we'll let that dry, set up, and then we'll come in, put this up on top of it, and start welding this in. One thing I do want to make sure is that the oil can is pushed up. So when we put weight on it, we could drop it in and then I could tack it to stop the oil canning. So gonna let this dry and then we'll be back with you. So we let the primer dry, put this piece in here. I'm gonna go ahead and weld this up. So my friend came up with a great idea. Put a jack underneath it. After I weld this in, we're gonna jack up the tabletop, press it tight up against, because right now it's a little bowed down. Pull it up tight, and then we could tack weld it in here. Don't know if the primer is weldable. If not, then I could take a flap disc and hit it right on the edge. But we'll see what happens. I'm gonna go ahead and start welding this. All right, that's tacked in. That's welded in. One heck of a tack. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and all right, I'm lifting up the table now. All right, so let's go ahead and put a tack. See if it will tack. All right, hopefully that didn't make too big of marks on the top side of the diamond plate, but problem is you get penetration. You want to be able to see it on the back side. All right, that's pretty good. All right, so that's much gooder, much more gooder. And I think just the 2 tacks are plenty. I don't want to do full on weld on it, because you'll see it on the other side. So I guess next is clean it up and spray it. Stop them from being able to rust. I'll take off the strapping and start prepping for paint. Kind of boring, but it's all part of the job. A lot of stuff you forget when you say, oh, I can paint it. You don't think about the prep work. It has to go into it. We got this all painted. I strapped it up, dry enough. We're gonna lift it up, pull the rack out, set it back down, and then flip it over so I can paint the top side of it, or prime the top side. I thought I'd bring you guys along just in case it goes horribly wrong. Okay, rack's out of the way. All right, sorry, No, nothing eventful. I think it's light. All right, so now I got to paint on the ground. All right, so first off, let's acetone it. You can see a little discoloration where the weld is, but doesn't. That's a solid table now. That's a solid table. Okay, I gotta wipe down low too. Next up is 2 spray cans at once. We do this so we can keep a wet edge. I'll start underneath first. Pretty good. The whole idea of this is so you don't get the tiger striping and the dry edge. The whole idea is to keep a wet edge where you're going. That stops it from getting dry, that dry, flaky overspray. My hands are giving out. My fingers. Switch to the next finger. Okay. I think we're pretty good. The wall is wet. I'm going to go ahead and put this leading edge. Done. Alright guys, so basically that's the finished of it, minus the casters on it. I want to say thank you guys for watching. It's been a fun build. Got it all done. Any questions, any comments, please leave it down below. We'll go from there. We'll see you on the next one.